Only two stories exist in the world. A person goes on a journey, and a stranger comes to town. It's a bold statement. It's been attributed to everyone from Leo Tolstoy to John Gardner. I loved the idea when I first read it, but this is the spring of 2020. No one's going on journeys. We all know the name of the stranger who came to town. Almost a year ago, my wife and I bought our first house. It has 5 garages, and we have 1 car and a rusty old truck. The house needed some shutters and some yard work. We put our own personal touches on it. But the reason we bought it was for the view. A back deck looking over acres of cow pastures and rolling hills in the mountains of East Tennessee. We own 7 of those acres, and none of those cows. My wife's family owns a farm about a mile away. It's mainly tobacco and hay, but they have about 20 or so beef cattle as well. The hope is to have some of our own cows someday. But for now, we just let someone else's cows hang out in their backyard while we watch from the deck. The cows have no idea what's going on in the world. Maybe that's a blessing. When COVID-19 hit, my wife and I had been in our house for about 9 months. We had mostly unpacked, and we were slowly falling in love with our new home. We had no idea how much time we were going to be spending here. Three months ago, my commute to work was a 20-minute drive. It looked something like this, except I would drive on the right side of the road. Now, this is how I go to work. I'm an animator and an animation teacher at a state university. The school shifted to online classes right after spring break on March 23rd. Now everything is a Zoom meeting, a Slack chat, or a text message. And despite trying their best, I know my students find it hard to focus on animating when the death toll continues to rise every day. They're scared about what's going on around them. They're scared about their future. Animation is just change over time. And as an animator, I like being able to control both of those things, change and time. I can alter a character's pose, I can make it move faster or slower, and if I don't like how the animation looks, I can go back in time and make even more changes. I have complete control of my art. I like that. Last summer, after we moved into the house, I bought a new camera. I had taken photography classes in college, and if it taught me anything, it's that I'm not a very good photographer. But we had a new house, and I wanted to take some before and after pictures with something better than my phone. However, the secret reason I bought the camera was I wanted to start making time-lapse videos. I start on the deck. I capture clouds, fog, the cows. I make a lot of mistakes along the way. I love the results. But as an animator, I can't help but feel a loss of control. So much uncertainty. I can't control how the fog moves or if the clouds are covering the stars. I can't make the cows move in a certain way to get a better shot. Cows are going to do what cows do. Of course, I have control of the aperture and the camera settings, and I have control of how I frame the shot, but what happens after I press the button is out of my control. Like animation, time-lapses just change over time. Each image changes a little bit from the last, and we perceive that change as motion. It's an illusion, and I like having control over it. But I can't control this change, and I certainly can't control time. My wife loves vegetable gardening. Of course, she likes flowers too, but every year she puts out a big vegetable garden at her family's farm. This year, we get to plant a garden of our own. My brother-in-law came over with a tractor and plowed us a little spot in the backyard. We stood more than 6 feet away. My wife ordered some lights from Amazon, and we set up a little grow station in our basement for tomato plants, cucumbers, squash, and melons. We put the seeds in the dirt, we water them, and we wait to see what happens. We don't have very much control. It's frustrating when some of the pods remain empty, and we just don't know why. Despite the hard semester, my students finished strong. This semester, they had conversations with professional animators, they practiced revising the animations they'd already created, and even though I know it was hard to motivate themselves, they made some incredible new animations anyway. They grew as animators and as people. I know I learned a lot. I learned that art isn't something I can always control. Not every piece of art can be crafted. I learned that sometimes, despite all your planning and preparation, you can't control change, and you can't control time. You just have to wait for the beauty to happen and hope that you were looking in the right direction. I'm not sure I believe only 2 types of stories exist. But just in case, I've been trying to figure out which story I'm in. Have I been on a journey at home? Are the cows curious about these 2 new strangers who rolled into town? Maybe the quote is more about embracing limitations and working within them. The limitations of your media, the limitations of your situation, the limitations of your perspective. Even if that perspective is one slow frame at a time, captured less than 50 feet from the new house, where I'm waiting for this pandemic to end, and learning new things about myself every day. A lot of people might find that story familiar. But not the cows. They still have no idea what's going on.